Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. My name is Claire and I put out videos about luxury bags and accessories. So if that is your thing, please click on the subscribe button, hit the notification bell and you'll know when I upload a new video. This is part 2 of my question and answer video. Now I did film my Q&As all in one go, but when I was editing it, it was quite long, mainly because I did give quite in-depth and long answers to my questions. I really wanted to be thorough and give you full answers, so I decided that it was probably better to split the video into 2 parts. Now part 1 went up on my channel about a week or so ago. Thank you everyone who's watched that already and who's commented on it. If you haven't seen it, I will link it down below, so please check it out. And in just a minute I'm going to hand over to Claire of the past, who will be answering all the questions in part 2 of the video. I do just want to give a quick apology for the background traffic noise. When I've been filming recently, it's been quite hot and I've needed to open the window or else it's just been too hot in this room. So it does mean there's a bit of background traffic noise, and I really hope that's not too distracting. And secondly, I just want to say I finished part 1 of the Q&As answering a question about influences, and I mentioned some fellow luxury YouTubers. I start off part 2 by answering a question from one of those luxury YouTubers. So I say, oh, I've just mentioned her. So I kind of hope that makes sense when you actually see it. So anyway, thank you everyone for sticking around and waiting for part 2, and here it is. Okay, let's move on. What have we got next? We have got, just mentioned her, the lovely Leslie Adina. Again, another fellow luxury YouTuber. I will link her channel down below. And she's asked me 2 questions. What's been your favourite vacation you have been on to date? Well, my favourite. I have been on quite a lot of holidays here and there. Lots of holidays in the UK, quite a few abroad. When I was younger, I used to go to America a lot, to the US. I think I would say that probably my favourite are 2 holidays to the same place. When I first met my husband, or the man that would become my husband, one of the first holidays we ever took together was to Amsterdam, and we went to Amsterdam for a long weekend. We flew there. We had a fabulous time. We went to museums. We went on a very romantic cruise down the Amstel. We had romantic meals in lovely restaurants. It was lovely. We hadn't been together very long, and it was, say, the first holiday that we took together, and I think it was around Valentine's Day, so it was kind of particularly romantic. And then just over a year or so later, we went back to Amsterdam, and that's where he proposed to me, in one of the restaurants where we'd had one of our romantic dinners previously. So yes, I'd have to say that those 2 vacations, those 2 holidays were kind of linked. They were both to Amsterdam, our first trip together, and then the trip where he proposed and we got engaged. So yeah, that was quite a few years ago now though. And then Leslie also says, looking back since you started your YouTube, what have been your biggest learnings and your highlights? My biggest learnings, I think, is that if you're doing this as a hobby and it's not your main source of income, and you know, you want to enjoy it, then you mustn't get too caught up in the analytics. Because if you do, it's going to suck all the joy out of it. It's going to make it stressful, because my analytics can sometimes be dreadful, and it's taken me a long time to get to 1,000 subscribers. It took me a long time to get to a certain number of watch hours and all that sort of thing. And if you get caught up too much in looking at those analytics, you start to think you're failing or you're doing something terribly wrong. Now, if my videos were getting no views at all and there was no engagement, no comments, then yes, I would say I'm probably doing something wrong. I maybe need to change up what I'm doing. But my videos have been getting views, and I do get some good engagement in the comments, and I certainly do take on any feedback in the comments about, you know, the video, if somebody did enjoy or not enjoy what I did. So it kind of encourages me to keep doing what I'm doing and to think to myself, well, maybe, you know, I'm not, you know, on thousands and thousands of subscribers, maybe my watch hours aren't up in the thousands and thousands as well, but I'm still doing something right, because I have a number of subscribers who do seem to enjoy my content and who do engage with me and talk to me. And so, you know, by not worrying too much about those analytics, I am not getting too down and disheartened with, you know, with my numbers, and I can still appreciate what I do have here on this channel. I do know that my numbers, my analytics would be better if I was consistently uploading maybe 2 to 3 videos a week. And you know, that's another thing I've learned, is that if you want to be vaguely successful in those terms, then you do have to be very consistent. I can't always be consistent. I have tried very hard this year to actually upload a video once a week, and I think if I look back, I have on the whole managed to do that. It's only in the last month or so that I've failed in that a little bit, but I have been very busy the last month and I have been away. But I have been trying very hard to, this year, try and keep to a schedule of at least 1 video a week, because I know that increases that consistency, obviously, and does mean that, you know, my analytics improve. But as I say, the analytics are not the be all and end all. I've learned that through doing this channel. For me, it's the engagement with all of you that are watching, to know that you are watching my videos, hopefully hitting that thumbs up to say you like my video, hopefully subscribing, and then engaging with me down in the comments. So, you know, I've learned that that's, for me, is more important than worrying about the actual numbers. And the highlights, what's been the highlights? Well, one of the highlights obviously was September, meeting up with all the other YouTubers, people that I've been watching for a while myself, people that who had inspired me, people that I really enjoy watching, getting to meet them in person, spending a few days with them. It was such an amazing weekend. It went far too quickly, and I felt, you know, it really was a special time, and it was very special to be part of that. And I'm so looking forward to meeting up with them again, and just having that connection now is also really special. So that's definitely been a highlight for me. I don't know if it's Beakers or Bokers asks, your skincare, your skin looks amazing. Oh, thank you, that's so nice. When I look in the mirror, I don't think it looks amazing. It's probably the lighting I've got on here. My skincare, I use, I do have a skincare routine. I used to use kind of cheaper products, and I have to say, when I started getting to a certain age, I upped my game a bit and I started purchasing much more expensive skincare products. I tend to use products from Trini London, which I've mentioned before. I do like her skincare products, they are really nice. I use products from Medicate, and I use products from Dr. Dennis Gross, who actually I was influenced to start trying by Meredith from Living Lux with Meredith. So I'll link her channel down below too. So I was influenced to try that skincare by her. So yeah, my routine includes a balm facial wash cleanser, which I use morning and night. I do use a daily exfoliator from Trini London, one that you leave on your face, you don't wash it off. Then I use a hyaluronic acid from Trini London, because I do have quite dehydrated skin, so that gives me a bit of moisture into the skin. I use a vitamin C from Medicate, and I use moisturizers from Trini London again, or Dr. Dennis Gross. At night time I use again the cleanser and again another leave-in exfoliator. Then I use the hyaluronic acid again, and then I use a retinol, again either a Trini London one or Dr. Dennis Gross one, or sometimes use the Dr. Dennis Gross pads, the retinol pads. I do find with retinols and the leave-on exfoliators, they've all got acids, certain acids and certain ingredients in them, that you can't just use them every day right from the start. I've been using them for a long time, so I can use them every day. But when you start maybe once a week, then you go to twice a week, and then you build up. And you might find that your skin can never take it every single day, and you have to sometimes leave off certain things one day and do it the next day. But my skin manages to take these products every day, and I've built up my routine that I can use them every day. And then I use another moisturizer, as I say, usually the Trini London Bounce Back Moisturiser it's called. So I'll if I can, I'll pop some pictures of the products I use up here, but I find they work for me, they work for my skin. Certainly on the Trini London site you can go and do what's called Match to Me, where you can answer questions about your skin problems and it will recommend which products you should be using. So yeah, that's my skincare routine. I try and stick to that routine. I try to do it every day. Most nights I'm very good at double cleansing, taking my makeup off and then using those products I was talking about. So yeah, thank you so much for saying that. That was really kind of you. Angela Keeling 8908 says, could you do a full video of the bags you own? Yes, I could. I think it would be a long one. Why haven't I done it already? Well, probably because the thought of it makes me feel a little bit terrified about getting all of my bags out. My bags are in this cupboard here behind me. Most of my luxury bags are here behind me, so I'd have to get all of those out. I've got some luxury bags in the other room. They would all have to come out, and it would just be a very long process of getting all the bags out, and then quite a long video of going through and showing you all the bags. I have thought about it, and I probably will do it at some point. I guess I really should get round to doing it, and I should put aside a big chunk of time to film that, and try and keep it brief by not going into detail on every bag, but just literally showing you every bag so you can actually see all the bags I have. But yeah, I guess I could do it. Watch this space and I will try and see if I can do it in the future. So now I have a question from Linda Thompson 5099, and Linda watches all my videos and always comments, so thank you Linda so much. And Linda says, what are your hobbies? What do you enjoy? Well, sadly in the last few years both my husband and I have not had a lot of time for hobbies, and we've not been very good at getting a good work-life balance. We've both been very busy, and my husband actually used to do a martial arts based hobby which he had to stop for a few years, but I'm pleased to say he's just started up again with that, and he actually takes my son along as well, so they do that together now, which is great. With myself, I used to have a hobby that was a very big part of my life, and if you don't know what it is, Google it. I'm not going to explain, just Google it. And that's roller derby. Now, I used to play roller derby and I used to be in a roller derby team. The team I was in did actually compete in the roller derby British Championships. We were in tier 4 of the championships and we actually won that tier, and so we all have, and I have a medal saying that I won that tier. We were promoted to tier 3. A little while after that I had to leave the team for various reasons. I had other commitments, and I believe the team went on to do extremely well in tier 3. I think they won tier 3, or at least they were promoted to tier 2, and I've got a feeling they're in tier 1 by now because they've just gone from strength to strength. So yeah, when I was part of that team I absolutely loved it. I was you know, part of the team for many years. We were just competing locally, and then, as I say, we entered the British competition, which was just a fabulous experience. I was very fit, very healthy and very strong when I used to do that sport. I'm not anymore. I'm not very good at keeping fit at the moment for various reasons, so I don't know if I'll ever go back to roller derby, but I did enjoy roller skating. It's because I enjoyed roller skating in the first place, so I still, you know, maybe might get back to roller skating at some point, I don't know. In terms of other things, other hobbies I actually do still do. I've always had a very nerdy hobby, which is live action role play, or LARP for short. I do go to some LARP events with my son. I've been doing it with a group of friends for over 20 years. We go to a number of events each year, and when my son was 5 years old I started taking him with me, and we do camp at the events, so that's why I sometimes say on my videos, oh, I'm going camping. I did recently go to an event and we were camping, but say I started taking my son when he was 5. He absolutely loves it. Again, if you're not sure what it is, just Google it. The system I'm involved in is a fantasy roleplay based system, kind of like Lord of the Rings. Very nerdy, I know, but my son absolutely loves it. I'm a bit old to get too involved these days. I just enjoy going, chilling out with friends, watching my son enjoy himself. You know, I get a little bit involved, but he does a lot of it. And when he turned 16, he was able to get involved in all the adult activities, and he's thrived. He's absolutely loves it. So I just let him go off and he does his thing. Yeah, so that's something that I get involved with a few times a year. There's a few events a year. And I say I do that with friends that I've had for absolute donkey's years. So that's a hobby that, again, I used to be really involved with for many years. I'm still involved with now, but to a slightly lesser extent. So other hobbies that I can enjoy at home, I do like watching YouTube, and outside of luxury YouTube there are other genres of YouTube I like. I do like, it's not exactly true crime, but I like watching content about things like financial scams and things like that. I really like the YouTuber CoffeeZilla, if you've ever heard of him. He does lots of investigations into crypto scams and things like that. I'm just fascinated by them, finding out, you know, what people are trying to do and how they're caught out, and hopefully seeing them come to justice. And I don't know, I just like those sorts of things. I like videos that are put out by the anti-MLM community. That's the multi-level marketing thing, because I'm very much against that business model, and I just enjoy watching content around those sorts of topics and subjects, probably to do with what I do for a living, which I think is a question that is coming up in a minute. So my last set of questions, and these come from the lovely Maria from Maria Louise Loves Luxuries, who also has a YouTube channel which I will link down below, and she says, what do you do for work? Well, I work in accountancy and finance, which is probably why I like, as I say, watching YouTube and programs on financial scams and things like that. And I work in an accountancy private practice. We look after a number of clients, from small businesses, individual person running their business on their own, right up to quite big limited companies. And some of the jobs I specifically get involved in are things like VAT returns and final accounts. I find it a very interesting job. It's very attention to detail. It's not what I initially trained in. My background actually is finance, because my first job was working in a bank. But I have had a few varying sort of jobs and careers over the years. While still working in the bank, I actually moved into training, and I was designing and delivering training in the bank, and for many years. Then I did move into training at a university, had a little career break when I had my son, and then I worked in education for a very short period, and now I'm back to finance, and as I say, I work in accountancy. I do enjoy what I do. It's hard work. There's peaks and troughs, which is why there are certain times of the year, certain times of the month when we're really busy, we have lots of deadlines, and then there's other times where the deadlines aren't quite so crucial. So yeah, so that's why I find it hard to be consistent on YouTube, because my work life can be inconsistent with the deadlines as well. But I do have a job where I work in the office, but I can work at home as well, so it's quite flexible. So I do have a level of flexibility with it, which is really good. And then Maria goes on to ask, any plans for travel? Do you ever plan to come to America, either US or Canada? I'd love to go to Canada one day, because I know that's where you are, Maria, and my dad went to Canada and he said it was amazing. I have been to the US a lot in the past. When I was younger, I went for quite a few years, every year, to the US on holiday. I've been to New England, California, Washington DC, New York, Florida, a few other places as well. I am coming to the US in a few months. I'm very excited. I am going to New York. My husband and I are going to New York, where we are going to meet up with the other YouTubers that are going to be in New York. So yeah, I'm very excited about that. I have been to New York before, but I last went in the year 2000. So it's been 24 years since I've been to New York. So I'm sure it is totally different, and I'm just thoroughly looking forward to it. I'm a bit apprehensive, a bit nervous, because it has been so long, but I am really looking forward to it. So yes, I'm coming to the US. I would love to come to Canada one day. And then Maria asks, what's my dream destination? I think I would have to say Italy, and Rome, because I've always wanted to go to Rome and then other parts of Italy. I studied ancient Rome when I was studying, so I really feel that I need to go there. I need to go to modern Rome, and there are so many other parts of Italy that I would love to go to and see. So I think my dream destination is Rome stroke Italy, and hopefully at some point in the future we will get there. She asked me what else I enjoy outside of YouTube, which I think I've answered that. And then her final question is, where did your interest in bags come from? So I think that's a great question to finish off this video. When I was about 7 or 8 years old, I had this little furry bag that was in the shape of a hippo's head, and the hippo's nose was kind of the flap of the bag. I absolutely loved that bag. I loved putting my bits and pieces into this bag and carrying it around with me everywhere, and I had it for a good few years, and I just thought I was so amazing. I thought I was it, and I think just loving that little bag just started my love of bags. Ever since then I was obsessed with bags, and it wasn't always luxury bags. When I was growing up, when I was a teenager, I just loved handbags. I loved admiring handbags on older women, and you know, just thinking, oh, when I grow up, when I'm older, I want to have a bag like that. I loved buying bags. I loved matching bags to outfits. You know, when I started work, my bag was always such a major consideration of my day. You know, which bag am I taking to work today? How am I going to match it to my outfit? And I did, you know, just start loving luxury designer bags. Loved high street bags. I mean, I've had a big collection of some beautiful high street bags over the years, contemporary bags. When I was working for the training department in the bank, it was a very corporate environment, and there were lots of women there of you know, far wealthier than I was, and they had designer bags, and I would see their designer bags and I would fall in love with them, and I would think, one day that's going to be me, one day I'm going to be able to have a bag like that. And you know, once I got to the point where I could start to buy some designer bags, then that was it. I didn't look back. So I think I have just always loved handbags. I am obsessed with handbags, and I've built a YouTube channel around it. Fun fact, I'm also obsessed with luggage, and my husband is absolutely tearing his hair out at me because I keep buying suitcases and kind of luggage type bags. I just am obsessed with luggage, and that's not necessarily designer luxury luggage, but just decent, usable, practical, but very beautiful luggage. And I just keep buying suitcases, and he is so mad at me because we don't have room for me to keep buying suitcases, and I just gave a couple of suitcases to my mum to make room for me to buy a couple of new suitcases, because I have literally just bought one. It's kind of a dupe for the Rimowa aluminium suitcase, because I thought that was lovely, but it's over £1,000 and I really didn't want to spend that on a suitcase. So if you're interested in seeing it, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll do a video on it, or I'll include it in a video. So it's not a luxury suitcase, but it is a dupe for a luxury suitcase. I just have an obsession with luggage, travel bags and handbags, hence why I've got this channel. So yeah, so I hope this video hasn't gone on too long. I don't actually know from the viewfinder how long it's gone on, because I've had to keep stopping and starting it because my camera keeps overheating, Pebbles keeps interrupting me, various other things have been going on. So I have no idea how long it's going to be. I need to probably do a bit of editing, but I want to say thank you so much to everybody who asked me a question. It's been really fun just to do my first Q&A, and I definitely hope to do some more if you've enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Please let me know what you think down in the comments below. And yeah, as I say, thank you for asking the questions. Thank you everyone ever so much for watching, and I really look forward to seeing you on the next one. Bye everyone.